Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Cameron. This is a channel about cross stitch where I show you all of my cross stitch goodies. I also talk about other crafts, but today is my 2023 end of year WIP parade or beginning of 2024 WIP parade, however you want to categorize it. It's a little bit different. If you're new here, welcome. I'm going to do a small intro before we get in. I know a lot of people find new Flosstubers or cross stitch in general through WIP parades, so I'm gonna do a quick intro. And then for those that are returning, yes, I am filming at night for the first time. I don't know how I feel about it, doing my best here. I have been a bit under the weather, and so today is what, January 4th. So this is why you're getting a little bit of a late WIP parade, but it's still the beginning of the year, so it's fine. My partner just went to work, so it's not normal. He usually has a normal like work schedule during the day, but there's a particular job that he had to do tonight, and so he didn't leave the apartment until 5 p.m. and so it is now 6:21 p.m. and it is of course dark outside, but it's fine. So yeah, my name's Cameron. I go by Cam the Stitcher here on Flosstube and on Instagram. I am 28 years old. I live in Northern Virginia, right outside of DC. I'm originally from Central Virginia, and I've been cross-stitching for like 9 years, I think since about 2014, 2013, I can't remember. I think 2014, I can't quite remember. But I started in college, and my mom was the one who taught me how to cross stitch. I started from like little dimensions kits, things like that. And then in 2021, I discovered Flosstube and the world of like, you know, fancy cross stitch things and linen and hand dyed fabric and hand dyed floss and cool patterns and all of that stuff. So 2021 was when I discovered everything, and then in 2022 I started my Flosstube channel, and I connected with lots of people. I've made so many friends. I have enjoyed it a lot. I've been doing it for about a year, and I'm just, I don't know. It's been bonkers. It's been crazy, but I have loved every second of it. Trying to think what else. I'm a Libra. What else do you need to know about me? I don't know. I usually don't do a lot of life updates in my normal videos. I do, I will usually have like a book segment at the end of my videos. I love reading books. I also like to crochet. I dabble in sewing and like other crafts here and there. I'm a crafty gal. But mostly I talk about cross stitch because that's like my main hobby that I can't stop thinking about, not even 1 second. Yeah, I live in an apartment here with my boyfriend that I have been with for 4 years. His name's Connor, and we have a cat named Vindaloo. I'm sure I will put a picture up here. You might also see her in this video or hear her in this video. She's gonna be begging for dinner probably pretty soon, so maybe I timed this poorly, but that's okay. So yeah. I think that's it as a get to know me. I stitch on all of the things, which again, you'll be able to see that as I take you through all my WIPs. If I haven't said it already, a WIP is a work in progress. So I'm going to take you through all of my current works in progress of my cross stitch projects. Behind me, you see there are some finishes. Some of these I've recently framed. Some of them are up on the wall and have been for a while, but, today you're going to see all unfinished things, and I got a lot of them. So anyways, let's dive right in. Also, yes, those of you that are returning, I did get a haircut. I'm going to acknowledge it here. I like it a lot. I'm feeling it. I'm vibing. Yeah. I used to have short hair all the time, and I grew it out in the past 2 years. I grew it out long, and I was getting sick of it, so I cut it off. But yeah, so I am gonna start with my oldest WIP, and I'm gonna, of course, go through in chronological order until we get to my newest WIP. So Some of them I will have where you last saw them pictures, and then once we get into like the 2023 WIPs where they were not featured in my mid-year WIP parade, then I will not have those types of progress pictures, but they will just pop up. That's kind of my editing style. I just pop up things. So let's get started. So my first WIP, this is the Modern Folk Embroidery 2022 Stitch Along. I started this January 10th of 2022. This is my oldest WIP now. I finished my previously oldest WIP this year, and I think I had started that in 2021. So I have no 2021 WIPs. They are all from 2022 or 2023. So I started this January 10th. I'm 61.6% through this, and you're gonna see my whole name on here, but anyways, I think I only have 4 pages left of this project. I'm stitching this on a 32 count linen that I dyed myself with just like tea and coffee. Let me get these strings out of the way here. I'm stitching it with 1 strand of DMC 310. And yes, you heard that correctly, 1 strand on 32 count. This was my first ever linen piece. That's what Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery called for. And it definitely gives it a super like antique look. I love it. Would I ever choose to do 1 strand on 32 count again? Probably not, but it really works for this piece. I'm very happy with it. The ship in the middle is definitely my favorite. Ugh, it's so gorgeous. Yep. I think I just recently finished most of this page. I just have the border to take down. So yeah, that's exciting. My oldest WIP, and I am trying to focus on a finish for this one in this in 2024. I will kind of take you through what I'm gonna focus on for a finish this year, because this is the year of limited starts and hopefully the year of lots of finishes. So all right, my second oldest WIP, this is the Crypted Stitch Along by the Witchy Stitcher. I started this January 26, 2022, and I am 58% through this. So that's what I've got. And as you can see, its sister stitch along is already finished behind me. So I am very motivated to get this done. This will be a focus for a finish this year. I was supposed to finish it this past year and that just didn't happen. I'm stitching it on a 28 count raw linen with 2 strands of the called for DMC over 2. Very cute. Very, very cute. I'm loving it. It's so easy to stitch on. The thing is like when I am able to pull it out, when I choose to pull it out, I will, I'm usually able to just in one like decent sitting, I can crank out a frame and a creature. So yeah. So yes, I would like to finish that this year. My next WIP, this is a free stitch along on the Owl Forest Embroidery website. This is the Wizard of Oz stitch along. I started this February 11th of 2022. I don't have stitchy stats on this, but I've got the bottom panel done. I'm probably like 30% done, I'm gonna estimate. And then you can see I started the Tin Man. This is stitched on a 32 count Jackson Fabric Arts linen. I think it's in the color like leafy green or something like that. I can't remember. So yeah, that is that. Third WIP. Did I say how many WIPs I have? I have 66 WIPs. And okay, actually though, and you know what? I love that I love that people, and some of the WIP parades I've been watching, people have been setting boundaries and they've been like, what we're not going to do in the comment section is WIP shame. I simply don't want to hear about how crazy you think it is that I have 66 WIPs. No, we're not going to shame WIP numbers. If one WIP works for you, that is fantastic. If 2 work for you, great. If 66 work for you, awesome. If 133 work for you, also awesome. It's a hobby. We're all different types of people. We all have different thresholds for things. So yeah, I just want to set that hard and fast rule. Like, and I'm just not interested in hearing about it. So anyways, moving on. My 4th WIP, I started this February 15th of 2022. This is the 2021 stitch along for Modern Folk Embroidery. It's called Fruits of Plenty. And I am 13.4% complete on this. Ugh, it's so gorgeous. I'm stitching this on a 40 count Zweigart linen in the color Blush. So it's this like really light pink, which of course this lighting is very much washing it out, but it's a very light pink, and I'm stitching it with 2 colors of DMC. So yeah, I got the 20 in there. Will I finish this in 2024? No. This will be a long lasting WIP. But I love, every time I pull this out, I love stitching on it. So like, I'm not really complaining. I do want it on my wall one day though. It'll happen. All right. This WIP, this is a pretty funny story. So I think this did not make it in my mid-year WIP parade, and I don't think it made it in maybe it did make it in my first WIP parade I ever did. This is the Raccoon by Cottage Garden Samplings. When I went to film my mid-year WIP parade, I could not find this project. Couldn't find it. So I decided to UFO it, and then what ended up happening is I never found it again until like a week ago. I'm not kidding. It was in a random, like, big plastic project bag in a bigger Aldi's bag that was in the back of my closet. So I don't know why I made that so hard on myself, but I started this March 1st, 2022. I don't have my progress necessarily. I might have a picture, we'll see. But this is where I'm at. So as you can see, I have that little cabin at the bottom done, that side border. So this is the full length of the piece. I don't know if I want to like save the raccoon for last and keep going with the flowers on the other side of the cottage that you can see there. But yeah, this is stitched on a 36 count Heritage by Picture This Plus linen with the called for threads. So yeah, a lost WIP that has now been found and added back to the WIP number. All right, my next WIP, this is a fan favorite. I started this March 8th of 2022. This is Mary Morgan's by Fox and Rabbit. I'll show you some of my project bags. I've got this in a project bag that I made. And this is stitched on 40 count Zweigart linen in the color Platinum with all of the called for DMC 1/2. Oh, and we've got a nice big pile of threads. There we go. I did pull this out on New Year's Eve. I had big old plans to stitch on this for about 12 hours or maybe 6 hours, and then I was going to do like a new start. But I was very sick, and all of those plans did not happen. But I did stitch on this for probably about 4 hours on New Year's Eve after taking a nap. But I love it so much. This is a huge focus for a finish this year. This needs to be done. It needs to be on my wall. Every time I pull it out, like, I get a pretty good amount of progress. I like don't want to put it down when I pull it out. And so I kind of want to take advantage of that and get this done. So very excited about this. I did make alterations to the colors of the last part of the alphabet just because the white didn't show up super great on this linen that I chose. And then I am going to rechart the quote. I have not decided quite yet. My next WIP, this is a Heaven and Earth Designs. I have 3 full coverages. And like, I only have a real kick to work on them for like a month out of the year. And then I'm like, and then I don't work on them for the rest of the year. So I did not touch this at all this year. This is Empress Eugenia surrounded by ladies, or Empress Eugene. I don't know. And I started this March 18th, 2022, and it is at 2.3% complete. And I'm stitching this on a 25 count Easy Grid Lugana 2/110 stitch. And I think this is about a page finish. Of course, I have a few stitches missing towards the bottom there, but yeah, I need to work on my full coverages. I love stitching on them, but then I don't know, I need to find a different method. I have tried Royal Rose. I have tried like just a page finish situation with no parking. I'm thinking 2024 might be the year of cross country, and just kind of going where the needle takes me. But that's also scary, so we'll see. Okay, my next WIP, this is 1844 Ladyman by Bendy Stitchy Designs. I started this May 27th, 2022. I am using all the called for fabric and floss. It's a 28 count milk and honey linen from Fiber on a Whim. And this is where I'm at. So I did touch this year. I am gonna focus on a finish for this because I really don't have that much stitching left. I'm not sure exactly what percentage I'm at because I do have a paper chart, but I'm thinking I'm probably about 35%, I'm gonna guess. Love to guess on math. That's a good idea, Cameron. But yeah, it's so easy. I love stitching on 28 count. Like after stitching on 40 count, sometimes like you need to take a break. So yeah, it's very pleasurable to stitch on. My next WIP, this is Move Forward in Love by Modern Folk Embroidery. I started this June 1st of 2022. This was my Pride start, and this is sitting at, it says 70%, but like that's probably not the truth. Because I'll show you what I'm doing is I am doing the like color version of the outside, but I'm not doing the color like full coverage version of the inside. I'm just going to do the monochromatic version. I liked that version better, and I'm stitching this on obviously a like rainbow tie-dye Ada that I got from the Stitchy Ferret. It's an 18 count, I believe. And yeah, I might make this into like a really big pillow where it's like kind of utilizing as much of this fabric as possible. But I could also frame it with like a nice big like margin so you can see as much fabric, but I really love this. This is a focus for a finish this year. I am hoping, I don't know, I'm gonna work on it when I think I have this on my WIP Go board. So my next WIP, this is the Haunted Carousel by The Witchy Stitcher. This was a Patreon exclusive chart, but it is now available to everybody. I started this June 11th of 2022, and it is sitting at 17.2% complete. This is a chunkier pattern than you think. Like, I feel like I've done so many stitches on this, but it is nowhere near done. But it is looking really good. I'm stitching it on a 32 count Lugana that I dyed myself, with just some like pearl gray, and I think I threw in a little bit of turquoise Rit dye in there. This is not a focus piece for me this year, but I would like to get maybe, I don't know, like 1,000 more stitches in it this year at some point. That would be cool. but I'm not pressuring myself on that. Like, I like it a lot, but there are other pieces I want to get done first. My next WIP, I've been thinking about UFOing this, so we're gonna see. This is in a project bag I made myself out of this really funky, fresh fabric. But this is Pandemic by Long Dog Sampler. This is, of course, a big ass project. I started this June 18th, 2022. Yeah. Didn't touch it this year. So you're gonna see absolutely no progress. I'm just doing my own colors of DMC. This is stitched on a white piece of 22 count Aida. So the stitches are so tiny and gorgeous and cute. I do like the process of stitching on this, like with the one string on DMC on 22 count, it's actually like super fun. I like the process of like kind of just picking as I go what color I want to make each motif. But my problem with this is, number one, it's kind of overwhelming how big it is. But number two, I didn't get a PDF, and I'm a PDF stitcher. Like, paper charts, I kind of almost have no patience for anymore. And that's a personal problem that I have. I know that people feel the same way about PDF charts and they just prefer paper, but I love PDF charts. So I am thinking of repurchasing this PDF chart because I have it in paper form. So, and I don't have like a scanner. It's just like, I know that it would just be easier to just buy the PDF. But you know, that's like an extra 20 bucks that I'm gonna have to drop on a pattern I already own. So like, I'm getting like, am I gonna prioritize that right now? No. So yeah, I am thinking I might UFO this, or I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I could like cut this and like make it into something. I could sew it into a project bag. I could make it into some weird pincushion. I don't know. Like, I could do something with it. Or I could suck it up and just buy the PDF. I don't know. All right, my cat is visiting us now. Hopefully she'll behave and be cool and chill. Okay, my next WIP, this is another full coverage Heaven and Earth Designs. This is called The Fitting. I started this July 18th, 2022. I'm at 0.7%. And no, I did not touch this year. This is stitched on a 28 count easy grid Lugana 2/110 stitch, and you can't see anything. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's nothing to even look at. Do I UFO this? Or do I work on it? I don't know. Okay, my next project, this is sitting in a bag that I made as well. This is Halloween Quaker by Leela Studio. This is stitched on, I think, Queen Crepe Myrtle by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. It's a 40 count linen. And this is where I'm at. So, I feel like I'm slow going on this project. I love it. I love it. But I feel like I was working on this motif forever. And so I finally got to move down this year a bit and work on these other motifs. So I'm hoping this year I can knock out maybe 2 more motifs. Again, this is not a focus for a finished project. This is huge. It's just gonna be one of those projects I have for a while, and I'm okay with that. It is very gorgeous though. And I also am stitching this with all the called for classic color works. My next project, this is something that I definitely need to finish now this year. This is sitting in a project bag that I made. Very cute. This is Autumn Lane Stitchery's Dark Queen of the Earth. She is stitched on one of the called for 32 count linens from Under the Sea Fabrics with all the called for DMC. I made a change to her head. I have not worked on her since I put the head in. I kind of like moved down to the arms and I lost steam. But I'm going to the Queen City stitching retreat in Charlotte, North Carolina in 2024. And the featured designer is Autumn Lane Stitchery, so I kind of need to finish this. or at least get it close to a finish so that I can finish it at the retreat. But I love her. And yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I did obviously change her head. I charted this myself. I did use the horns from one of the head options that they gave. And then I kind of charted this animal skull myself. I will not be giving her hair. She doesn't need hair. She slays. She's a bald-headed queen. I don't know. I love her, but I'm also very excited to have her done. So that is definitely a focus. I need to get it done before October when I go to the retreat. All right, sorry, I had to go feed my cat real quick. So the next WIP, this is a very small, seemingly small piece, but this is the Scrying Mirror by Stitch Sprout. I started this September 30th, 2022. I am sitting at about 38.2%. This is way more stitching than, it's basically full coverage when you look at the pattern. So I started in the middle, and this is stitched on an 18 count Aida that I tea coffee dyed. It's like this random piece that I did. And I'm using all the called for DMC except for the DMC 310. I use DMC Etoile because it's sparkly and cute. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting at. This will definitely be finished this year. It needs to be. It's been like, it's too small to not finish. And it's very cute. So that is that. My next WIP, this is Nadia by Night Spirit Studio. As far as I know, this might still be a Patreon exclusive chart, or it might be on Etsy. I'm not sure, but I started this September 30th, 2022, and I'm sitting at 74.7%. So I'm very much looking forward to finishing this year for sure. This is stitched on an 18 count black Aida. That's better. With all the called for DMC 2/1. On 18 count, I usually do 2 strands, but it just depends. So yeah, and she's gonna be doing that. And she is gonna be doing that. So the cute thing about my cat is that when she gets fed, she likes to yell out to the ether and tell them how much she loves her food, I guess. That's what I'm hoping. My next WIP, this is Black Cats and Spooky Bats by Park Hopper Bart. I started this October 31st, 2022, and I'm sitting at 30.2%. And this is stitched on a 40 count peanut brittle linen by Roxy Floss Co. I think I got it on evertotes.com, and I'm using all the Roxy Floss Co. Floss, and I think it only called for 4 colors. It's very cute. It's very peanut brittle. I mean, that's the color. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's very cute. I don't know if I'm gonna finish this year. It is small enough, but it's actually quite a bit more stitching than you think it is when you look at the pattern. But I just really need to get into it, essentially. All right, and then this is my last 2022 WIP remaining. Very exciting. Not that, I mean, enough, but like not too many 2022 WIPs are still here. So this is Pretty Christmas Village by Lucy Heaton on Etsy. I started this December 2nd, 2022, and this is sitting at 53.9% done. And I'm stitching this on a 40 count Mermaid Mule linen by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. Oh man, I don't know if like my lighting's too much. It's hard to tell, like that's too dim, I think. We'll see. Stitching this with all the called for DMC. I did make a few changes. So the snow I did in tent stitch to give it first of all, to save me some time stitching, but also to give it a little bit of a different texture than the snow that's going to be up here like on the houses. I'm almost done with the tree in the middle. I really don't have that much more to stitch for those pinks and everything. But yeah, hopefully I could finish this year, but it's not really that big of a priority. I love this fabric. I also stitched this last year. This was like a 2022 finish. This is by D's 20 Stitches and Uncanny Kari. And I love him so much. This was all stitched in DMC Etoile, and it's so sparkly in person. Ugh. Anyways. So yeah, that was it for my 2022 WIPs. So we're gonna get into my 2023 WIPs. I started over 40 things in 2023. It was the year of starts. I really did not hold back. I had so much fun starting things with my friends, with people I met through Instagram and here on Flosstube. I seriously, like, the love and just the stitchy, like, excitement that I got to participate in this year with people was so fun. I have absolutely no regrets. But yeah, so now I'm left with, 66 WIPs, and about 48 of them are from 2023. So that's fine. It's exciting stuff, okay? So my first WIP that I'm gonna show you, this was my first start of 2023. This is sitting in a bag, again, that was made by me. I promise I have other bags. This is the Needle Worker by Cottage Garden Samplings. This was their Snowman series, Snowman Collector series, this past year. I'm stitching this on a 36 count aged paper linen. I don't know who this is by now that I think of it, but who knows? Anyways, this is where I'm at. I only stitched on it the one day that I started it, and I started it January 1st of 2023. So yeah, not much to see here, but I'm stitching it with one strand of the called for DMC. So yeah, it's fine. I will pull it out again. I did not pull it out this Christmas. I had other things that I wanted to stitch on and start. So my next WIP of 2023, I started this January 2nd. And this is the Witchcraft Woodcut, called Farmer's Freefall by Night Spirit Studio. And that's the back of it. I am sitting at 37.2%. I'm stitching this on a 28 count natural linen, and I'm stitching it with 2 strands of DMC over 1 tent stitch. So they are going to be tiny little woodcuts. It's honestly, these are so fun to stitch on. They go so quick with the tent stitch, and I love the texture that it gives. Like, for these woodcut patterns, I think it's rad. Yeah, and I'm definitely hoping for a finish on this one, as well as the other one I have in my WIP pile. She's just gonna be doing that. I just don't know what to tell you. What can I say? I'm a mother of one, and she is a cat. Okay. My next WIP, this is Pumpkin King by Mama Witch Cross Stitch. I started this January 2nd of this year, and I'm sitting at 16.3%. And I am also stitching this on a 28 count natural linen with 2 strands of DMC over 2. So yeah, I got a good bit. I only really worked on this, I think, one day this year, but I ended up finishing out well, not one day, I guess 2 days, because I pulled it back out in October, and I ended up getting like the face and the hat done and everything, and then starting down here. So I'm excited to pull this out again this fall season, Halloween season. This will not be a focus for a finish, but hopefully I can get some progress. So that is that. All right, my next WIP. This is another Night Spirit Studio pattern. This is called Unexpected Visitors, that I also started on January 2nd of this year, and I am sitting at 15.9%. And again, this is stitched on 28 count natural linen with 2 DMC, 2 strands of DMC over 2. I really love this one. The border is obviously like the main draw of this pattern. Like, it's very ornate, so you're going to be doing a lot of border stitching, but it's not like monotonous border stitching. I don't know, a little bit of it, but it's pretty. So, but this year I finally like kind of brought this border more in, and got down here, and I was like, all right, I need to take a break from the border. Stitched part of the UFO, so I will pull this back out this year. It is, again, not a focus for a finish this year, but I'm excited to get some progress. My next WIP, this is, I started this also January 2nd of 2022. Nope, 2023. This is called the Bad Vibe Sampler. You can find this on Etsy. The designer is Fergus Reed, and I believe their shop on Etsy is like Bad Vibes Shop or something like that. And I'm sitting at 8.6% complete on this one. So I did pull this out, I think, a couple of times this year. And I'm, again, using the called for DMC 1 strand on 40 count. This is a Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers Fabric of the Month that I can't remember what it was called, but it's very cute and pretty. So I started in the middle with this one, and as you can see, there's some like DMC metallic thread back stitching that I started in on. Yeah, Vindaloo's pretty excited about it too. All right, my next WIP, this is Strawberry Harvest by Cottage Garden Samplings. I started this January 2nd of 2023. I think I because I had plans last New Year's Eve, and so I think I made my like 12 by 12 on January 2nd for some reason when I had time, I guess. But yeah, I am stitching this on 40 count Ancient by Picture This Plus with all the called for threads. And I think it's this way up. I'm actually not confident on that. Well, someone tell me. No, that can't be it. Isn't that horrible? No, Are you still with me here? Oh my God, that's killing me. I actually don't know which way it is. Well, whatever. Anyways, that's gonna be a problem for future me. I did not stitch too much on this year. I think I pulled it out once more after initially starting it. I will say 40 count Picture This Plus is not my favorite. All right. And I've learned that lesson, and it's fine. But yeah, it's just a very tight weave, even with 1 strand. I don't know. I'm just not as fast with it. My next WIP, this is one of my favorites, and I got a good bit of progress on this year. This is Autumn Cloche by Hello from Liz Matthews. I started this January 3rd of this year, and I'm at 16.7% complete. This is what the pattern looks like. Sorry about that. It's so cute. I'm doing a half called for situation, half stash situation. So I'm using some of the called for DMC in this bundle you see here. And then I'm using some overdyed color and cottons that matched the vibe. Sorry, they're not very pretty. Well, I mean, they're pretty, but they're a little all over the place. I'm stitching this on, I believe, 36 count. Mm, 36 count Fiber on a Whim Affogato linen. And that is where I'm at. I got a fantastic bit of progress on this year. I'm very proud of myself. I don't know what it was. When I pulled it out this year, again, just something came over me and I could not put it down. Like, I was stitching on it so much. I know Bridget, the museum stitcher, was also pulled this out when I pulled it out, and she was like going through the same thing. Like, she just could not put it down, and she ended up actually getting this pumpkin done that I had started. So she has great progress on this as well. So yeah, I'm feeling it. My stash conversion looks great. I mean, it looks like the cover image, just like a little altered, but exactly, and I've always said that. And that was sitting in a, this was the first project bag I think I ever purchased, and this is by Shiba Designs. She is definitely my favorite project bag designer, so that is definitely holds a nice little place in my heart. All right, the next project that I started, this is Reaching Skyward by Modern Folk Embroidery. This was the 2022 stitch along that I did not keep up with at all. I started this January 3rd of this year, and I don't have really a progress amount on here. But I'd say I'm probably about not even 10% through, maybe 10%. Probably not though. I'm stitching this on a 40 count linen by Roxy Floss Co. called Billie Jean. Yeah, I know. And I'm stitching it with two different colors of Roxy Floss Co. Sorry. This is in a bag that I made myself. Here are the colors. Sorry about that. Okay, hold on. This is not helpful, is it? So this turquoise is Great Lakes, and then this brown is Charlie Brown, which I should remember because the Charlie Brown name is very cute. So yeah, those are my colors. Very like bronzy, and then just a beautiful dark, deep teal color. My next start, this is a very special start. This is sitting in a bag that I also made myself. I love this bag. This is White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick. And this was the project that connected Megan, the Seattle Stitcher, and I. She saw that I wanted to start this, I think, or that I bought it or something, when she started watching my channel, and she reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to sell it? And I was like, yeah. So we created a cute little stitch along, and we called it the, I think, hashtag Winter Moth Sal. So anybody could join. They could stitch this pattern. They could stitch like any moth pattern they wanted. There are lots of moth patterns out there. So, and Kathy Barrick has, I think, a monopoly on them. She makes beautiful ones. So we started this January 13th. I'm stitching this on a 40 count Shy Love You linen by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And I'm stitching it with, kind of a stash conversion, kind of an over dyed conversion, but it's very true to the, called for DMC or NPI. Sorry, I have a little fuzzy on that. Stitching this with one strand over two, and I got a good bit of progress on this year. I tried to consistently pull this out once a month. That didn't happen all the time, but it happened a good amount. And this is actually going to be a focus piece this winter. I definitely, I know that I could get this done. So hopefully we'll see a finish of this in the next few months. We'll see. All right, my next WIP, this is called Beatrix Potter Quaker. I started this January 30th of 2023. I'm at 6.4%. This is a reproduction sampler by Stitchy Box Samplers. And this was a stitch along that was originally started by Julie here on Flosstube. She goes by Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. And lots of people joined in, and I was one of them. So I think this is the way that it goes. Yeah, this is where I'm at. I did iron all my pieces, but I don't know if my iron just sucks because I have not been able to get some of these creases out. I don't know if my iron can get hot enough. I don't know what's happening. But anyways, stitching this on 40 count Peony by Fiber on a Whim with Dinky Dye's Pink Tourmaline is the floss. And it is my pink on pink, tone on tone situation that I got very lucky with picking out the things that I picked out. And I really love the combo. And lots of individuals have taken this very specific color combo and started their own monochromatic pieces with it. So and I love that. Bridge and the Museum Stitcher has started a Modern Folk embroidery piece with this combo. My friend Marjorie from Marjorie Made started another Modern Folk embroidery piece with this color combo. And then my friend Maddie from Kitty Stitch on Instagram started our round robin that I will get to later here in the video, in this same color combo. And since it's a round robin, like we've all been stitching on it. I haven't stitched on it yet. I'm so excited to. But it is looking so good. And like obviously there's way more progress on that than there is on this. And I'm just like living for the pink. I really am. My next WIP, this is a sal that Marjorie from Marjorie Made started. This is called the Love Bug Sampler by Sprouting Lupine. We started this on February 1st of this year, and I have a lot of progress on this. This is a focus for a finish. It is happening. I'm finishing it in February, and it's sitting at 57.9%. This is stitched on 32 count Sprite Lugana by Picture This Plus, I think. Yes. And it's so pretty. I haven't done the back stitching on the wings yet. I'm going to save that for last just because I think pretty long back stitches that I'll be doing. And I think I only have about 2,700 stitches left to go on this. It's really not that much. I'm doing 2 strands of the called for DMC. It's gorge. Ugh, I love it so much. When I finish this, I will be treating myself to the new Sprouting Lupine 2024 like Valentine's Day bug sampler that she came out with. It's got a huge pink lunar moth on it. And this bag, or no, this project is sitting in this bag that I made for myself, and it has to be replaced with the pink lunar moth, and it has to go in this bag. Like, it's perfect. My next WIP, this is in another Sheba Designs bag. I love this one. I think Marjorie has the same one. We have very similar taste in project bags and projects and colors and things and haircuts. But anyways, I fully copied her. I took a picture of Marjorie to my hairdresser and I said, "You can do this? Can you do this kind of, but like with a little bit of but here are some other pictures." That's what I did. Anyways, this is called the Misspelled Sampler. We started this, a couple of my girlfriends and I started this February 14th of this year. This is by Hemlock and Rye, which is Kansas City girl in Colorado World. And it's a reproduction sampler. It's gorgeous. We lovingly call this the Bonds is Roten piece. And it's sitting at 7.2% complete. Oh, it's washing out this like light blue so bad with my lighting, but it is so pretty. I am stitching this on a 40 count Be Stitch Me fabric. I have lost the tag. I cannot for the life remember what this is called. It might be Hot Cocoa or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's a very pretty neutral. And I'm stitching it with all of the called for, I have fuzzies everywhere. All the called for classic colorworks. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Not a focus piece, but I definitely will be pulling this out for some progress. I believe it is on my WIP Go board, so it'll get probably at least 1,000 stitches this year. My next piece, this was another Marjorie inspired start. She started a hashtag Rip My WIP Sal, and it was essentially like encouraging everyone to start a full coverage stitch. And I already had 2 full coverage going, but it's fine. I started Arcadia. This is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I believe the artist is Bob Doucette. And I started this February 22nd of 2023, and I'm sitting at 1.4%. So I was doing the Royal Rose method on this. I mean, I technically still am. That's what it's sitting at. But this year I am going to transition to a different method. I don't know if I want to go diagonal or if I want to just go cross country and do whatever I want. But I was starting to get lines in my fabric. And I have read and watched all the videos, and people have claimed that you can like block it out by like soaking your fabric after your finished piece and everything, and it'll go away. I'm not putting this much work into this piece for there to be lines in it at the end and possibly not go away with an iron and a blocking. So I'm just not going to use the Royal Rose method. It was fun. I really enjoyed it, but it's not worth it on the lines that I'm getting. I'll try to show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see, like, this is my back. It's crazy cuckoo, but you can kind of see these columns that I've got going. So yeah, we're done with that. We're done with the columns this year. But I'm loving this piece so much. Like, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get into all the pinks. I started getting into a little bit of the blues. And I was living for it. So, all right. My next piece, this was a Megan inspired start. This is Rose Quaker. I'm gonna put the name of the designer up here. I think it's, well, I'll just say, I think it's Weinberg is the designer. I started this on April 17th, 2023. I'm sitting at 8% complete, and this is on 36 count Milk and Honey linen by Fiber and a Whim. So I pulled this out recently for, I think, Pick a Whip by Marjorie Maid, and I got a good amount of progress on this. Like, I am very happy with this. So, I mean, these motifs are big, so I jumped, I think I was already down here. I did some more on this, but then I jumped over, started this motif, and that kind of kept it interesting, and I feel like I got more done by doing that. So, this was another one of those projects, I almost UFO'd it, like, just because, I don't know why. This is sitting in a bag that I made with some stash fabric, and I am doing my own stash conversion for this, and I definitely lessened the colors. I have not made like a mock-up of what it's gonna look like because I'm kind of just picking colors as I go through each motif. Some of these are very obviously close. It's still close to like the picture, but I've added in some oranges and then some greens. But a lot of it are these pinks and like bricky colors, browns, tans. So, and these are all Color and Cotton for my stash. My next project, this is the April Tent Maker by Carolyn Manning Designs. This was started on April 25th. I cheated. It was supposed to be started May 1st. Because we do a little hashtag Manning May Sal for the month of May. So we, me and a couple of my friends, we decided to start, we wanted to stitch on all the Carolyn Mannings. And we just got really excited about it in the group chat. So we ended up kind of starting that hashtag. And a lot of people joined in last year. So we are going to do it again in 2024. So be on the lookout for that in May. But I'm sitting at 49.3%. This is one of her smaller patterns. Like, if you are nervous about starting a Carolyn Manning, of just like the size of it and everything, these Tent Maker or some of her smalls, this is only 63 by 63 stitches. I'm stitching it on a 16 count Aida that I dyed myself with 2 strands of DMC over 1. And I'm stitching it in hand, and it's very quick. I am going to pull this back out in probably March or so, and I'm going to get it done because in May, I want to start a new Carolyn Manning, and it's actually a gift for somebody. So, not that I really need that excuse, but it is a gift for somebody, but I want to get this finished before I start that one. So yeah, very cute. My next project, you could say this was like, I don't know, was this my shining star of the year? I want to say that. This brought me a lot of new viewers and new followers and new people to talk to. This is the Vanity Sampler by Hello from Liz Matthews. I fell in love with this pattern when it was released at Nashville Needlework Market this year. It is a reproduction sampler and it's amazing. Well, let me show you first of all the picture of it. This is sitting in my Alexis _ My Amazing World project bag that she made me. It's nice and big and perfect for this. So this is the Vanity Sampler. And I saw this and just got a vibe from it, and I was like, the girl who stitched this was like Victorian era goth. I can just feel it. A Vanity Sampler, what they'll do is they will rip out their name and like the date, and sometimes, because they would put oftentimes either the date they stitched it or oftentimes the date they were born or whatever. And so they ripped it out because maybe they don't want people to know how old they are. So that's why it's called the Vanity Sampler, and I love it. It's got a nice goth verse at the top, very like death, macabre, fun stuff. So what I ended up doing was I followed that vibe and I made a DMC conversion to what I call the Goth Vanity Sampler. It's not traditional goth. It's very like soft roses, like rose colored, kind of greenish grays. And then we've got like this really nice bold fuchsia color and this teal color. And it just, I love it so much. I'm so happy that so many people loved it. Liz herself talked about it on her channel, and I can't thank her enough. And I just really appreciate all the love that I've gotten for this color conversion this year. But this is where it is at. I'm stitching this on 36 count brown sugar linen by Fiber on a Whim. And I'm using one strain on 36 count. That's usually the way it goes for me. And yeah, if you are interested in this color conversion, just DM me on Instagram and I will send it right to you. This is a focus for the year because I feel so ashamed that I didn't get that much done this year on this. I did see Erin Makes on Instagram. She did post her finish of this year, and with a beautiful caption, and it brought tears to my eyes. And it's gorgeous. If you want to go see the finished version with my conversion, it's so great. So Bridget, the museum stitcher, and I have decided to work on this every month and try to get about, I think, 1,600 1,500 stitches on it done every month. But yeah, so very exciting stuff. I don't think I said this. I started this on May 20th of this year, and I'm sitting at 12.6% complete. So yeah, enough gabbing on about that. But I really was like so delighted and surprised at how many people were into that conversion. Because it was just this like weird little thought I had, and I ran with it. All right. My next WIP, I also had recently pulled this out for, I want to say it was a pick a WIP for Marjorie. So this is the Nostalgic Ouija pattern by the Witchy Stitcher. This is a Patreon exclusive pattern, I believe, still. And I started this June 3rd of 2023. And I'm sitting at 12.5% complete. Let me fold that over a little bit. So yeah, I'm using all the called for DMC on 18 count black Ada, 2 strands. It looks better when you kind of like hold it back here a little bit, but yeah, it's awesome. I'd love to finish this year, but I'm not gonna make it a focus piece, but I definitely will be getting some more progress on this. So, yep. My next WIP of 2023, this I started June 3rd. This is the Black Butterfly Sampler by the Shaded Stitchery, and I'm sitting at 6.7% complete. I only worked on this for one day, so we have no progress on that, but it's not that big of a chart, so I could finish this year if I really put my mind and body to it. But I'm stitching it with some Stash Gloriana silk, and then I picked like a lighter purple color and cotton, I think, for it as well. And I'm stitching this on a crazy fabric. It's called Razzmatazz 40 count by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. So yeah. All right, my next WIP, this is definitely gonna be a finish this year, I promise. This is the Witches and Demons woodcut by Night Spirit Studio. I started this June 11th of this year. I started this for #Stitch for Sage, and I'm at 43.6% complete. Again, I'm stitching this the same way as the other one I already showed you with the 2/1 tent stitch on that 28 count natural linen. Yep. I swear it stitches so fast with the tent stitch. It's so fun. I love the texture it gives. And yeah, this will definitely be finished this year. So my next WIP, this is sitting in another Sheba Designs bag that she sent me. And it's so me. It's this like gorgeous little gal with a pink pet spider and purple bats everywhere. It's literally a perfect. This is the Birdman Cometh by Little Robin Designs. I started this with my buddy Michaela here on Flosstube. She goes by Cinematic Stitches. And we both started this because we loved it. It was a release at Nashville, I believe. And it's just crazy. It's insane. So I'm doing a complete like stash conversion on this. I'm stitching this on a 20 count lipstick Ada by Fiber on a Whim. Sorry for the hanging thread here, per usual. So I really only worked on this for a couple days, and then it got a timeout because I made a mistake somewhere and I still can't figure it out. So, but I will pull this back out for sure this year and get some progress. Since it's 20 count Ada, I'm stitching with 1 strand, and most of it is over dyed stash, like color and cotton that I had. So yeah. Oh, and I started that June 21st of 2023. I started that when I was at the beach this year and it rained the entire week, and I also had to go to the ER right before we left for the beach, and got diagnosed with sciatica. It was a rough week. So maybe that's why I also haven't pulled this out. That could be a possibility, but we're gonna give it some better memories, I promise. My next WIP is an accidental secret WIP. And I have 2 of them in my pile. And let me tell you why. Because I'm kind of disorganized. So this, I was supposed to start it, well, I did. I started it July 1st of this year. This is Every Opening Flower by With Thy Needle and Thread. And I don't know what happened that day, but I guess I was busy, or I don't know, something came up, because I did technically start it. That's it. That's all I got. So I felt quite shameful about that. So yesterday I decided, I was like, you know what, I need to do my WIP parade soon, and let me pull this one out and restart it in the middle, because I don't know. I was just vibing. I wanted to get to the middle, and I wanted to get down to the house first. I know my friend Bridget here on Flosstube, the museum stitcher, she's doing that. This is one of her WIPs as well. But anyways, I am doing this on, let's see, a 40 count Be Stitch Me and the color Ledger. It's a very interesting fabric. I love it. And I'm doing a complete stash conversion in overdyes, and I also consolidated something I've noticed about, this is my only With Thy Needle and Thread, but they call for a lot of overdyes, and like some of the overdyes are called for like 6 stitches, and that's just not a world that I'm gonna live in. So I consolidated the colors and did from stash. So I restarted it yesterday, but this still counts as a 2023 start to me. So anyways, I am loving this. I love my stash conversion. I did get down to the house. You can see this is the roof, so I got down to it. The next time I pull this out, I'm gonna probably get more on the tree done, and then move further down and start outlining the windows of the house and everything, so that I can do eventually fill in. I'm loving this fabric for it, because I like how it's like these yellow splotches with like the blue splotches. I just think for this pattern, like that's kind of perfect. So, yep. I'm very happy I restarted this. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to have a secret WIP from you guys. It was not on purpose. It was just disorganization. So I never showed this on my Flosstube. My next WIP, this was a last minute start that Marjorie made, influenced me to do. This is the Floral Alphabet Sampler. And I'll pop a picture up, but I do want to point out I'm only doing the middle motif, like the big vase with the birds in it. So I am sitting at 6.4%. I started this July 11th. I might have already said that. And this is by Tinsel Cross Stitch on Etsy. I'm stitching this on a 40 count flax linen, maybe by Zweigart. And that's all I have. I'm stitching with one strand of DMC. I'm doing mostly like some called for DMC, some just like I pulled from stash because I didn't have the called for. And right now it's looking like the top half of a uterus. But yeah. This is not necessarily a priority piece, but like it only has, because I'm doing the middle motif, it only has about 3,100 stitches left on it. So I could finish this year. But I definitely want to turn it into like a cute little pillow. And this is also sitting in a bag that I made. My next WIP, this is You're Dead and Out of This World by Tuscan Cardinal. You can find this on Etsy. I started it July 13th of this year, and I'm sitting at 8.1% complete. Hold on. And that is where I'm at. I started in the middle. I started this when the newest season of What We Do in the Shadows came out this year. And I love that show so much. So I was like, oh my God, so I have to start it. And I did. But I think there's only going to be one more season. So whenever that premieres, I'll work on this, or hopefully it'll already be done. But yeah. My next WIP, this is something I also started with Michaela from Cinematic Stitches. We both got very excited about this stitch along. It was the Wizard Inventory stitch along. This is now complete by Sewing Starfish. I started July 14th. I'm at 32.2% complete on the first part, which is not necessarily like, it's, here's what I'm going to do. So I'm stitching this on 40 count Skyfall linen by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers with one strand of the called for DMC. And I started in the middle with the Wizard. Now, this fabric is bonkers crazy, amazing, beautiful, magical, gorgeous, mystical, shall I say. However, because it's a 40 count, it is impossible nearly to stitch on. I have used magnifiers. Like, I do need better lighting. I will say I finally ordered an OT light, so like maybe that'll change the game. But I'm thinking I'm just going to finish out the Wizard this year and make him into like a little stand-up. You know how like people make those like Santa stand-ups? Like I want to make a Wizard stand-up, like stuffy. You know what I'm talking about? I'm obsessed with him. That's the thing. And like the stitch along itself, like the rest of the motifs on like the rest of it, so cute. Like but also, do I want to stitch all of those stitches on this fabric? No. I kind of rather make this into a stand-up and then save the rest of, you know, what I don't cut off for like really cute little smalls and stuff. Does that make sense? I think that's my plan. So this should be a finish this year. I'm gonna finish the Wizard this year, and yeah, make that. My next WIP, do not have it with me. This is Quaker Gardens by Hello from Liz Matthews. This is the Round Robin my friends and I started. This is, I think, currently sitting with Alexis from Alexis_My Amazing World. I think a few people have stitched on it. If there's a picture, I will put it, like of mine. But I have stitched on Marjorie's. I've stitched on Bridgen's. Is that it? Oh, and I've stitched on Alexis's. So I still have to stitch on Megan's, Maddie's, and Elizabeth from Frizzy Lizzy Stitches. So anyways, mine is stitched on a 36 count Kunzite linen from Fiber on a Whim. I used a Mosale silk called Cranberry Bread, and everyone's like stitching with those colors. Marjorie's the only one that chose for us to stitch our motif in the colors that we picked for our own pieces. So hers is multicolored and it's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. So yeah, I'm very excited to have this done. This will be done this year. When I get it back, there is the house and the alphabet and then the bottom border to complete. I will be like prioritizing that and having it done because I want that on my walls. Like I want to get it framed because all my friends stitched on it and like it was, you know, round robins are like, they're a little bit stressful, but like, you know, it was fun. So I'm very excited to get mine back. I'm excited to see everybody's finished. We all picked like very different combos and things. So yeah, this will be definitely a focus for a finish this year. My next WIP, this is sitting in a project bag that I made myself. And this is Love Gains by Modern Folk Embroidery. I started this July 22nd. It is sitting at 7.2% complete. And it is stitched on 36 count Ivy linen by Fiber on a Whim. It's, again, I did a tone on tone situation and I love it. I can't wait till this is finished. I'm using a Mosale silk in the color Ivy. So that, I didn't realize I did that. It wasn't on purpose, but I just knew it was gonna work. And I just used like a playing card. Got this trick from Carrie from Tiger Lily Designs. If you are new to Mosale silk, or if you have some hanks of any kind of silk, Carrie has a great video of how to cut your hanks of any type of floss, silk or cotton. And that's what I followed. I've watched it like probably 3 times because I panic every time I get a hank and I'm like, all right, wait, how do I cut this? And I just use these. I have a bunch of like playing cards just like stashed around, so that was very easy to do. But yeah, this is not a focus this year, but I definitely want to get some progress on it. It's a big piece, but it's not that big. My friend Bridgen, the museum stitcher, finished this piece at StitchCon this past year, so, and it's gorgeous and I want to do it. And I already have a thought. I'm going to be, of course, recharting the quote in the middle. And I think I'm going to rechart it into a Throne of Glass quote. My next start, this I started August 13th of this year. This is out of the Season of the Witch Starlight Stitchery box pattern book. And this is the Apothecary Shop by the Witchy Stitcher. This is available as a PDF on the Witchy Stitcher's site /Etsy. So this is available to everyone now. But I got it in that box. And I'm stitching this on 40 count Be Stitch Me in Bronze Age, which I actually think is kind of the called for, possibly. I started in the middle. It's sitting at 13.6% complete. And yeah, it only has about 3,000 stitches left on this. I could totally finish this year. So, and I'd really like to do that. I kind of wish that I'd stitch this on a larger count fabric because it's going to be a tiny little apothecary sign, but I'll find something to put on it. And this is sitting in a project bag that I made. All right, my next WIP. This is a design by my friend Frizzy Lizzy Stitches. This is sitting in a mini little project bag by my friend Kat from Whittier Stitches. And this is the I'm Just Ken pattern. I loved the Barbie movie this year. Probably one of my favorite pieces of media this year. Number 2 would be Saltburn. I don't want to hear about it. Anyways, I started this August 13th. It's sitting at 4.5%, and I'm stitching this on 32 count Lugana. But I'm stitching it 1/2 10 stitch, and it's so tiny. Literally just have a D done. That is it. It's so tiny. I need to pull this back out because I would really like to have this finished. My next WIP, this was a start for Lauren, the New Hampshire stitcher. She started the Back to School Sal this past September. I started this on September 1st with the Sal, and this is Consider the Lilies by Heartstring Samplery. It sure is a BAP. BAP stands for Big Awesome Project or Big Ass Project. Depends on if you want to curse on your channel. I love this. I saw the model in a cross stitch store in Virginia Beach, Dying to Stitch. And yeah, I'm sitting at 1.4% on this, and I'm stitching it on 40 count Winter Wren linen by Fox and Rabbit. I actually was working on this today, so I'm not going to take it out of the hoop because there's nothing to see outside of the hoop. It's gorgeous. I had this whole vision for this darker linen with this color palette, and I think it looks fantastic and amazing. But again, oh my god, my eyes cannot see this dang fabric. So I'm really struggling with that. A little bit regretting it, but also like the vision that I had is like, I need it to happen. So I've been using magnifiers. Again, I'm hoping my new Ott light that's coming in will help with the lighting situation. But I do love it. Yep, stitching with 1 strand, 40 count. Using the called for DMC. So, and I did rechart this. I'm gonna have a different quote in it. I picked a Virginia Woolf quote that I'm very excited about. What does it say? I think it says, hold on, I have it right here, I promise. No need to sparkle, no need to be anyone but yourself, or but oneself. I don't know. I really love that quote. I love Virginia Woolf. And then I also recharted the Adam and Eve to be 2 skeletons. Because, yeah, I don't really want Adam and Eve in my house. No offense to anybody that does. I mean, hey, they're cute little naked people. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love that for them, but like, I just don't need that. My next WIP, this is Sea Witch by Nora Corbett. This is my first Nora Corbett that I've started and my only one I have. I do have another one kitted, so whenever I finish this one, I'm gonna start that other one. But yeah, it's actually going a lot faster than I thought it was, but my friend Allie Z from Allie Z is Crafty here on Flosstube and on Instagram, she did tell me that the bottom half is like, it's a lot more stitching than you think it is. I got through the top half of her, and so I have that arm to finish, and then I'm gonna start in on her tentacles. I'm very excited. This was kitted and sent to me by one of my Instagram friends. I'm very appreciative of it. And it is being stitched on 16 count Picture This Plus Da Vinci Ada, which I love. I think this was perfect. She's so pretty. This is a focus for a finish this year because first of all, I really enjoy stitching on this. I only stitched on it for I think about maybe 2 stitchy sessions, and I got a decent bit done. So I know like I just want to focus on that bottom half, get her done, get the beading done, and then I'll be able to start. I have Junebug by Nora Corbett is the other one I have kitted up. I'd really like to start. My next WIP is another secret WIP. And again, I didn't do this on purpose. It just happened, okay? This is sitting in this beautiful project bag I got from Etsy. I can't remember the seller's name. I think it was like, I don't know. I'll see if it's in here. So this is Pumpkin House by Hello from Liz Matthews. I did show you that I had kitted it up and everything was ready to go, but I accidentally did not show you that I had started it. It wasn't on purpose. Oh, the bag, I got it from Etsy, and it is Joanna 1966 is the shop name. Literally like such a cute patchwork bag. I am stitching this with the Tiger Lily Designs, oh my gosh, Forbidden Fiber Co. conversion. It's pretty close to the called for. It's just punched up a bit. And I'm very excited to like actually get into these because you're gonna see this sad start. That's it. That's all I got. So you can see this pattern is stitched on 2 pieces of fabric. So I started on the bottom one first. I want to get that pumpkin patch done first, and then I want to do the house because I'm kind of more excited about the house. This part, this is stitched on, I think it's Milk and Honey, I want to say. Hold on. Really struggling here. Milk and Honey 36 count by Fiber on a Whim. And the top half I will be stitching with 36 count Fiber on a Whim Topaz. I think Bridget and I are doing the same fabric colors. I'm almost positive. She has the entire pumpkin patch done, and this year she's going to get into the top half. As you can see, that's all I got. So, and that's what I get for having an accidental secret WIP. You know? I'm definitely going to pull this back out this year. I think it won't be a focus for a finish, but it will be a focus to get the pumpkin patch done first. So it'll be focus for like a half of a finish, sort of. My next WIP, this is what I'm calling Hannah's stocking because it is a stocking for my sister. But this is a stocking from Cooler Design Studio. You can get these as PDFs. They are also in some like out of print Christmas books, stocking books, but I went ahead and just got the PDF, and I started this September 20th of this year, and I'm actually sitting at 21.1% complete. I got a decent amount of progress on this year. I'm stitching it on 25 count Lugana in the color Potato. And you can see I've done like the curvature of the stocking part, and I think this is like the end of, I don't know. I don't have a lot of margin, but I'm gonna work with it. So I am stitching this with all the called for DMC, and I'm using 3 strands of DMC over 2. And it's actually a lot more pleasurable to stitch than I thought it was gonna be. I was inspired by Liz from Hello from Liz Matthews and Elizabeth from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch to start one of these stockings. My next WIP was my birthday start for this year, and it was my golden birthday. I turned 28 on September 28th. I sure did. And this is Iron Maiden by D's 20 Stitches and Uncanny Kari. I love this so much. I called it my golden kit stitch along, so like anybody could join. It was just like stitch on something that you kitted and you were so excited, like you got all the things and you were so excited. Maybe you did a color conversion, maybe you did stash conversion, you were just like, you got everything, you were like, yes. And then you let it sit there and you didn't start it because it just like felt too special to start. Like I ended up just like pulling all of this out and just like petting it. I'm using all of the called for Brennan needle flosses, which are freaking adorable. Like that speckle floss is everything. And then I'm using the called for linen, which is Fizzy Pop by Brennan Needle, and it's a 36 count. So I started this for my birthday, started in the middle. I only worked on this for 1 day. I am using 1 strand of 36 count. I couldn't see in D and Kari's pattern, I couldn't see if they used 2 strands or 1 strand, but I went with like what I prefer, and I did 1 strand, and it looks great. So if you have this kitted with like a 36 count or anything, if you were curious, I mean, I'm sure it can be stitched with 2, like it's just whatever your preference is. But yeah, I can't wait to pull this back out again. I'm gonna definitely work on this in February because I'm gonna work on like all my pink projects in February. I think that'll be so fun. All right, my next WIP, this was a start that I did with Bridget and Marjorie. We all wanted to start all or equal All Are Equal in Death by Modern Folk Embroidery. We started this October 1st of this year, and I'm sitting at 7.5% complete. It's sitting in this beautiful project bag that my friend Kat from the Whittier Stitches got me, or made me, I should say. And I'm stitching this on 36 count Earth by Fiber and a Whim. And I'm stitching it with 2 Moth sail threads. One of them is a cotton and one of them is a silk. Let me actually get those out and show you. So this is the like green speckled goodness that I'm doing all the leaves in. This is a cotton. It's in the color Morning Dew by Moth Sail. I love this color. And then I'm doing all the words and the coffin and the skeleton and this silk called Breakfast Tea by Moth Sail. And I only worked on this for like 1 day. So I know that I could, Bridget got so much done on this. She did the entire middle part of it, and then she's saving the leaves and maybe words for last. And I'm obsessed. So I definitely am going to pull this out this year. I am at I already think I said that. I don't know, 7.5%. So it has about 5,800 stitches left on it. My next WIP, this is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I think everyone is stitching this. And I am doing a complete stash conversion, overdyed a lot of color and cottons. I'm stitching it on 36 count, I want to say parchment, and that is where I'm at. I had a 1 day start, as you can see, got a nice little hanging thread per usual. And yeah, I will definitely like to pull this out again this year, get a little bit of progress, a whole bit more, I should say, because I don't have a lot. We're in the home stretch, shall we say. My next WIP is Babushka's Blossoms. This is by Plum Street Sampler. I have a picture of it right here. That is the chart. I started this October 7th of this year. I'm sitting at 4.7% complete. And I'm stitching this on a 36 count linen in the color Cocoa by Fiber and a Whim. And I think this is the way that it's supposed to go here. Doing an all color and cotton stash conversion as well. So it's definitely like a different vibe. It's darker linen that I'm doing this on, but I think it'll look really good. I can't wait to see the pumpkin pop on that, and the White House will really pop on this. My next WIP, this is actually a WIP Go pull, as well as Consider the Lilies was a WIP Go pull for this January. This is Little Brown Bat by Cottage Garden Samplings. Stitching this with all the called for DMC, and then I picked a stash color and cotton for the brown. And I'm stitching this on 40 count Ancient by Picture This Plus. And that's the very teeny tiny start I have. 1 strand, obviously, on the 40 counts. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this out this month. My goal is to get about 1,000 stitches. We'll see how, I might adjust these goals as I go throughout the year and see what I can realistically get done, but yep, that is that. My next WIP, this was kitted and gifted to me by my friend Kat from Whittier Stitches. She is a very generous and amazing friend. I can't wait to meet her at Queen City Retreat next year. This is Bella Filipina, Gaia the Earth Goddess. And she also kitted this up for herself. She kitted up she got me the pattern and all the beads and like the silk, the Krynic. Yeah. And I got myself the DMC and the fabric, and I picked Coral Sands by Jackson Fabric Arts. This is a 32 count, and I am stitching this 2/2, all the called for DMC, and I started it October 25th, 2023, and I'm at 1% complete. So I started in the middle. I was very busy this October. I had no time this October for real. But anyways, I'm very excited to get back to this because it is so gorgeous, so pretty. This linen is so buttery smooth to stitch on. Ugh. And I want a big fancy lady. Like that's, I just want to have a big fancy lady done. My next WIP, this was a I started this October 30th because it got to the end of October and I was over Halloween and I was ready for Christmas for some reason. This is We Santa 2022 by Heart and Hand. And I am stitching this on a 20 count vintage country mocha with some of the called for DMC, some of the called for overdyes. That's the back of my project. There we go. Yeah, sorry. This is 20 count vintage country mocha. Yeah, I think I've said everything. Sorry. I only have a few more projects. Yep. This will be a finish this year. I'm not letting this tiny little itty bitty thing sit in my WIP pile for more than a year. That's, yeah, not happening. I have a feeling I will pull it back out in October, November, or December. My next WIP, this I started with Bridget the Museum Stitcher. This is Boo Spook Haunt, which is a Patreon exclusive pattern by Hello from Liz Matthews. Started this on Halloween, October 31st. I'm sitting at 17.1% complete, and we're both stitching this on 40 count Barnwood linen by Picture This Plus, and we're both using Bridget's DMC color conversion. So that is where I'm at. I started in the middle. She changed all the flowers to be like purple, pinks, and oranges. And this fabric is gorgina. And you know what? It is dark and it is 40 count, but it's not as hard to stitch on as some of the other dark, variegated, modeled fabric that I have. So I'm loving this. This will be, I would really like to finish this year. I know I have a small start on it, but it only has about 4,200 stitches left on it. And like a lot of that is going to be that white fill-in. So I feel like it's possible. Look how far I have to reach up to put things on top. My next WIP, this is something I started with Hannah, the Impossible Stitch on Instagram and here on Flosstube. This is by Plum Street Samplers. It's called Tomb with a View. And I love it. I love those weird spooky witches. I'm doing a stash conversion of some overdyed like gentle arts and coloring cottons and whatnot. And I'm stitching it on 40 count Duxbury by Fox and Rabbit. There we go. And I started in the middle with the words and I have not gotten very far, but I loved stitching on this. I love the fabric that I chose. It's very cute, very gorgeous. Very gorgeous. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna pull this back out this year. I'd like to get up to the witches and stitch some of those. My next project, this is something that I started with the girlies very recently. This is Sarah Moon 1791. This is by Stitchy Box Samplers. It is a reproduction Quaker sampler. We started this on the full moon of November, which was the 27th. And I got a good amount of progress on this since you last saw it. Very excited about that. I'm sitting at 7.4% and I am stitching this on 40 count Wild Mint by Atomic Ranch. And that is where I'm at. Now I did a full cam conversion and I did these Whimsy Goth colors. Marjorie's also stitching my conversion, and then Bridget and Megan are stitching the called for, but it's a conversion to Vicky Clayton silks. And we're all, I think Bridget and Megan are stitching on the same fabric, but Marjorie and I'm stitching on this like cool minty toned, obviously, and then she's stitching on like a pink, I think truffle by Picture This Plus. Oh, it's gorgeous. If you haven't checked out Marjorie, and you really like what I stitch, go check her out. Like, for real. I mean, all my friends and I, we start like a lot of the same things, but Marjorie and I have very similar tastes, so yep. I love this. I pulled it out on the full moon of December, which was the day after Christmas. And I worked on it for a couple of days and I got a really good amount done. So much that Vindaloo's just absolutely shocked and she has to tell you all. So yeah, that is my next WIP is this year's Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along. I started a little bit early. I started December 6th of 2023. I kept saying this year this whole time, and it is 2024. Y'all know what I mean. Anyways, this is called No Time Like the Present. I am sitting at 1.2% complete, and I'm stitching this on a 36 count raspberry linen by Fiber on a Whim. So this is going to be the year of like whimsy goth, purples and greens, and I don't know. That's just what I'm feeling. This is sitting in a Sheba Designs bag, and the green is a DMC, and it's 732, and the purple is a Mosaic silk and the color Patriarchy. So this is the DMC 732. Hello. And this is the Mosaic silk. Ugh, gorgeous. Very excited to pull that back out and work on it. I'm not going to keep up with it. Can't make me. So my next WIP, this is the second day of Christmas by Hello from Liz Matthews. I am stitching all of the trees for this series. Bridget, Megan, and I are all stitching these. They are both stitching these samplers all on one big piece. I know Bridget and I are like pretty driven to finish one of the days of Christmas every other month. So I finished my first day of Christmas already in the month of December, and so I went ahead and started this one at the end of December, not even the end of December, December 10th I started this. I'm sitting at 5.1%, and my goal is to get this done by the end of February. So I have all month to work on this, and then our tentative goal is to get this one done by the end of February, and then we'll start the third day of Christmas, and so on and so forth. So these will all be like individual finishes for me, but in reality, like, it's one WIP, because essentially what I'm doing is I'm finishing one of the days and then replacing it with the next day. So yes, it'll be like new starts, but to me it doesn't really count because this is one WIP. I'm going to finish all of these trees into a garland eventually. They're all gonna be stitched on different colors. This is 36 count, I think, Ivy by Fiber on a Whim. I'm stitching my Love Gains on this color. Stitching it with all of it called for DMC. 1/2, 36 count. There we go. Okay. Whew. It's getting to be a lot, okay? We have 4 more WIPs to show you, and we're done, I promise. This is Christmas Wreath by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This past year I finished it. I participated in the stitch along for the Halloween wreath and I finished it. So of course I had to start the Halloween wreath. I started this December 13th. I'm sitting at 1.2%, and I'm stitching this on 28 count Lugana in the color Hot Cocoa by Be Stitch Me. And I started in the middle, 2 strands of DMC over 2. And I'm stitching it with mostly the called for DMC. I did just replace some of the ones that my store did not have. And that's that. This is so easy to stitch on. I love stitching on Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery patterns. And yeah, it's not gonna be finished this year. I just kind of like know that in my soul. But I'd love to have it finished for maybe 2025. We'll see. My next WIP, this is a very special WIP. We just started this. Marjorie, Maid, and I decided to start like a little besties Sal. And we're stitching Two Birds by Modern Folk Embroidery. We started this on December 29th of 2023. And I'm sitting at 12.4% complete on this. I got a lot of progress because I was sick and I was actually stuck at home with my dad, which I very much enjoyed. I don't know if he did. I was sick. So anyways, we're stitching this in this beautiful color and cotton floss called Fiesta. And it's this like variegated, peachy, hot pink, and orange. I love it. So Bridget, the museum stitcher, sent Marjorie this floss, and like I think that's what happened, and she was obsessed, like couldn't, or maybe showed it to her. I think that's what it was. And then Bridget sent her some fabric as well for her birthday, and it all worked out, and that's what she's stitching it on. Well, I had some of this. I think this is Peach Love You, or no, what is it? Peach is My Heart, 18 count Ada by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And that is how far I got. I'm using 2 strands, which I'm actually loving. This 18 count is not too like shrunken to, you know, it's not too tight of a square for 2 strands. It's like actually really nice. So, yeah, I got a lot done on this. I am very excited. So I definitely am going to be pulling this out throughout the year. Maybe Marjorie and I will kind of pick a day of the month to pull it out or something. I don't know. Also no pressure though, Marjorie. But like I would like to pull this out throughout the year. It's so gorgeous and bright. And yeah, not gonna necessarily pressure myself to finish it this year, but it is very pretty. All right. My next project, this was my New Year's Eve new start. One of them, I had 2. I was sick, so I treated myself. This is the Colors of Mexico by Jan Hicks Creates. I have the cover image right here. That is what it looks like. This is a new pattern. I got this chart from Abby at Top Knot Stitcher. And then I actually got the Vicki Clayton silks for this, which was my first time doing that. And they are so gorgeous and shiny and just like seriously delicious color combo here. And then I am stitching this on a 40 count Be Stitch Me fabric and the color Lightly Salted Not Roasted. And that is my little tiny start. Seriously, like stitching with these silks on 40 count was such a dream. I get why Megan and Bridget and lots of other people sing the song of Vicki Clayton silks. So yeah. Okay, this is the last WIP, I promise. This is WIP number 66. This was a last minute new start on New Year's Eve. So again, started this December 31st. This is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. I'm gonna put up a picture. You can see the cover image better. This is by Carousel Samplings. I got a very small start on this, but here's the thing, because I'm doing low starts this year, I was like, I kept watching people's most recent like Christmas floss tubes, and then started like WIP parades or kit parades or finish parades. Everyone is stitching this. Everyone is stitching Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. And it's already been on my wish list for like quite a long time, right? And so I was like, oh, like, but I don't need to start it. I don't need to start it. I don't need to start it. It's so big. It's so big. It's so big. Well, y'all did me in. So I went ahead and I had this cut of Catacombs, 40 count linen by Be Stitch Me. And I started a line. That's all you get. That is all you get. But it started, okay? It was a 2023 start. I can work on it in 2024. As you can see, I only got about half that line actually filled in full X's. I tried stitching in hand, but 40 count, because I'm trying to, like, I'm great on 36 count, but 40 count is just a little harder, so I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to go back to a hoop method on this, but I am excited nonetheless. So yeah, that's my last WIP. I'm sure some of you were excited that I started Halloween at Hawker and Hollow. But yeah, I mean, my friend Megan has it as a WIP. I saw Michaela got a lot done on it this year from Cinematic Stitches. I know Beth from More Event Made has it as a WIP. I know Pam from Just Keep Stitching is, I think, close to a finish on that one. There's so many people that are stitching this, and I love it so much. I needed it, and so I did it. So yeah, let's go over some 2023 stitchy stats. So in 2023, I had way more starts than I thought I did. In 2023, I had 67 starts. That seems fake, but I did. But I finished 18 of them. So go me. And then I think I UFO'd 1 or 2, maybe just 1, which is fine, happens, right? And then in 2023, if you watched my finish parade that I put out, I said in that video I finished 25 things, but I was hoping for 26. I actually ended up finishing 27 things in the year. Last minute, I finished a Mill Hill Santa ornament for a gift for my dad, and then I also finished one of the Lola Crow ornaments that I had as a WIP. So I didn't want to come into 2024 with that, so I went ahead and finished those. So I had 27 finishes for 2023, 66 WIPs at the end of everything. I'm so thankful for all of you that have joined me on my journey this year. I hope some of you will follow me in 2024 and hopefully see some of these projects finished or see some decent amount of progress. I look forward to meeting some of you all in person. I'm going to StitchCon in June, weekend A, and then I'm also going to the Queen City Stitch Retreat in October in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm very, very excited to meet everybody in real life. I don't know. This year's been wacko bonko crazy, and I've made some of like the best friends that I've ever had through the internet. I talk to them every day and I connect with new people all the time. I talk to some of you like on a regular basis about stitchy things, about cross stitch. And that's amazing. I will leave you with that. This has been a long enough WIP parade. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about any of my WIPs or anything like that, you can always comment down below. I will see you next time on a regular Flosstube update. And it's been grand. It really has. Vindaloo agrees. So anyways, bye everybody. Bye baby.